Hey guys, so in this video, let's take a look at your agent settings. You'll find it right here under the agent setup. Okay, so I'll go through all of these tabs one by one. First is your first message. Let's say you don't want any variation in the first message that your agent gives. Go ahead and type it out. And if there are any variables, sorry, if there are any variables, go ahead and add the curly brackets to give a variable within the message. Okay, first I'm gonna create a draft so that I can go ahead and edit all of these things. You do want to set an agent time zone. A conversational guide always helps, so keep that on. Unless you want to fix it on your own, so you can put that in the agent prompt as a separate section. Then there is the LLM idle timeout settings. What sometimes can happen is the user might stop replying. The agent might say, "Hello, are you there?" Give it a max retries of 3, chat timeout, and basically these three things can be the same or shorter actually. Don't need the agent to keep waiting for 60 seconds because that's gonna cost you. And after that, after the max retries, it'll just end up cutting the call. Then we have session timeout settings. This is basically the max time any call can take. Languages, you can select from a slew of languages and select a default one as well. Then you have your voices. We have a huge library of voices which you can filter out from gender, accent, age, languages, and you also get an idea of how many calls have happened throughout our platform with that certain voice. Then there are speech settings. This is basically the speed, how fast your agent will speak. Let's say you have certain words that are used that have a particular pronunciation. So you can go ahead and add that word and how it's pronounced. Um, if you're not sure how to write it down, always go to Google and figure out how it's pronounced, and it'll give you that piece of text which you can put here. Background sound, now this is just a neat trick to make it seem that it's actually real. We have a cafe, call center, some static noise going in the background, or if you feel like it, just don't have any background sounds. Then let's go to the advanced voice settings. Mute user until first bot response. This is especially helpful when you're doing outbound calls. You don't want your agent to get interrupted automatically by the user if they say, "Hello, who's this?" So just go ahead, keep this on. Sometimes some calls are so simple that you don't want any interruptions. These are just announcement calls. So there you'll switch on allow interruptions, wait for the user to speak first. Maybe the way you've designed your voice agent is for an outbound call where you want the user to ask, "Hey, who's this?" and then allow your agent to speak and take the conversation forward. So you can keep that on there. A very neat and handy dandy feature is voicemail detection. It's best you keep this on at all times so that you know you're not wasting tokens or money on continuing and recording a message for a user who might not even call you back. Then comes personal info redaction. This is especially useful for situations where compliance is a huge factor or you don't want personal information being read by your team. So you can switch this on there. So even in your transcripts, you will not get any idea of any sort of personal information. Let's say the last 4 digits of your card, the email, the phone number, even the name of your user won't be stored in your conversation logs. And the same goes for the audio recording for every call. There's a beep added to wherever that personal information is being said. Denoising is pretty straightforward. Sometimes when you're going through your call logs, you don't want to listen to a lot of hiss here and there. It's more of a quality of life upgrade for you. Then there is voice detection. Whenever your agent is going to be calling people, it's not necessary that they're alone. So there'll be other people speaking around them, and you basically want your agent to figure out with what confidence your user is speaking, right? These are the recommended settings, but you can definitely tweak around with them. Let's say confidence score is right now 70%, so anybody sitting right next to them might be at around 50%, so the agent will not listen to them. You can set the minimum volume for it to pass through, the trigger time in seconds, but essentially I would say not to shift this around by 0.10 points or more. And then there is smart turn detection. So this basically figures out how long your agent has to wait to confirm whether or not the user has stopped speaking. Now, a lot of times we are thinking while we are speaking, and we probably, have pauses. So you don't want to keep this too short. What will then happen is the agent will consider the sentence as complete and start replying back with incomplete information and context. And then we have the interruption back off timer. Now, a lot of times during a conversation, we humans understand that a simple reply like okay, is not an interruption per se. But how does the agent know that, right? So for these very short responses, it's great to have like a 1 second interruption back off timer for the agent to be like, okay, their response was only 1 second, so I'm gonna keep continuing to talk. If they go over that 1 second threshold, that means they're actually trying to say something. So okay, I will back off and let the user speak. So these are all the voice settings. Then we can go on to models. We provide GPT real time and our own Electron model, which has a very low credit usage. Even for the STT, which is basically the years, we offer our own Pulse and DeepGram as well. Here you can go and select phone numbers that you have rented out in the phone numbers section. For webhook, I'm going to go into it in a separate video. And then we come to pre-call API. Now let's say your voice agent is connected to your CRM, and there is already certain context about the user that is there on the CRM, right? And you want your agent to know about that. So then you switch this on. For example, let's say even before calling the user, you want to know whether they're already subscribed to your services, or they've made any payments, or um, they have any ticket that's already open with the company. So this is pretty helpful. Even before the call starts, the agent knows what's what's the issue that's going on, or can talk to them about any pending dues. Um, so yeah, that's the pre-call API. One thing before I end this video, I want to end with the widget. Now, the widget is a very neat feature, and you must have noticed this small tab that's come over here at the corner of my screen. Now, what does a widget do? You just need to copy this piece of code and put it on the body of your website. And across your website, you will have a voice agent that your users can talk to. You can have it chat or speak, and you can even change the appearance. Let's say you want it to be compact or tiny or in full. Right now it's showing atoms. You can give it its own name. You can give it a message, change the colors, give it a persona. Maybe you want to keep a face here, name it Alex, or what the start button text looks like. And also certain compliance things where you want to ask the user's consent before starting the chat. And so once you're done, don't forget to hit save. And so that's a walkthrough through all the settings for your agent.